que espera por el pan.
No, nadie viene tirita por el pan. No como los perros de las caricaturas.
because I'm like, dude, I know this is tough to do, but this is ridiculous. You know, just out of pure luck and chance, this should have worked at least once, and it wasn't doing it. So let me swap over and we'll pick up there. All right, so now I'm in MAME and I don't have any filters running, so that I'll be able to count pixels later on and determine exactly what the difference is in a falling character's height between getting launched from the ground like that and him falling, and you know, him falling from being knocked down like this and then juggled, because the fall is slightly different, and it's different enough to make this not work. And it's something I didn't know until I was trying to redo the Ultra without using Chief Thunder stage and without using Saberwolf. And yeah, so let me show you what's supposed to happen in theory. Okay, we're just gonna do a regular launch, boom, do the linker. I'm gonna pause the game. I'm gonna see Fulgor's claw on the top right, just like 1 pixel there. And I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna press forward and quick punch. It's gonna register on the next frame, and that's the magic spot. That's what we want, and it's tough to catch in real time, that's for sure. I think I missed one. I don't have the audio in the headphones over there, but I think I missed one of those 4. Okay, so what would have happened if we were a frame too late? So I said 6 before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Forward and play. Right, he hits the ground and whiffs the Ultra. And what happens if I was a frame too early? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Catches him in the air. So indeed, you have 1 frame to get this right, 1/60th of a second. Now, very tough to do. Very tough to do, but all right, speedrunners do that stuff. And but what if it turns out that a 60th of a frame doesn't even, or a 60th of a second doesn't even work? So let me show you. It's a modified version, but it ends the same with the juggle, like the combo we've been practicing. Okay, now earlier, so there's this claw on the top right, it's 1 pixel, but earlier 7 missed. All right, 7 made him land on the ground. I'm gonna go 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I gotta go more because Chief isn't ready now. 9, 10, 11. Is he ready? Good lord, I was really slow on that. Sorry. Let's try again. Okay. Bear with me. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Catches him. Remember earlier that made him drop. Okay, well 8's too quick when he's falling like that. What about 9? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Falls on the ground. So 8 frames was too early, 8 frames or 9 frames was too late. So how do you catch them? You don't. That's what it is. You don't. Now, this is something that like I'm really gonna have to dig into further because I only just discovered this, right? I knew this stuff was tough to do, but like when I was trying to redo it, and I'm just like, I've failed so many times. I'm talking like 100 times. I couldn't get this to work. I didn't want to do it on the stage. I wanted to do it somewhere else because I'm like, I know it's possible to catch them. Yes, it is, but I was catching them off of stuff like this, not off of the other thing. Now, what I discovered was that Saberwolf, I actually made it work. And then when I reviewed the video, and I'll show it, when I reviewed the video of the one that worked versus the ones that didn't work, he was a couple of pixels different in height. So, like in a frame, I don't know, he's falling like, gosh, 20 pixels or something, right? Every frame. So, 2 pixels, what's that, right? like, gosh, 20 pixels or something, right? Every frame. So 2 pixels, what's that, right? So, why are we on this stage? We're on this stage because there's a height difference over on the right. Now, I knew that this made it easier to do. Well, yeah, it's easier because it's possible, right? So there's a height difference here. So whatever this slight difference is, I guess within a frame, right? It's probably like a frame earlier you have to do it, but it'll catch them. And I don't remember what the exact one is, but we'll see if we can figure it out. Oh yeah, don't do that. See that? I forgot about that. If he's in the corner, right, it drops. That's why I had him here. I forgot. Okay. And I think when his foot is level with the top of the mountain, I think it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think. It didn't even come out. I don't know why. My bad. I don't know what to do about that. This stuff's new to me anyway. I looked it up. I was like, can you pause and MAME? Alright. 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess. Hopefully. Maybe it was 6. So yeah, P to pause and then Shift P. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe that was it. Boom. Okay. So that's what I did without knowing that it was that picky. That's how I was able to catch it on this stage, because I caught it multiple times. And then, yeah, me trying to recreate it, even tried Glacius. I tried Orchid. I'd caught Orchid before, but it was off of a different combo. Now, without knowing that it was, I guess, hopefully, maybe it was 6. So yeah, P to pause and then Shift P. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe that was it. Boom. Okay. So that's what I did without knowing that it was that picky. That's how I was able to catch it on this stage, because I caught it multiple times. And then, yeah, me trying to recreate it, even tried Glacius. I tried Orchid. I'd caught Orchid before, but it was off of a different combo. Now, this also works on Saberwolf stage, because Saberwolf has this little step up. Right there. And I don't remember, again, I don't remember exactly how many it is, but we'll try it. Oh yeah, gotta do that. Oh crap, I'm supposed to be charging back. I'm stupid. Hold on. It's awkward. I got the keyboard over here to the side. This hit P. Alright. Let's see if I remember. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8? What do you think? 8? 8. Look at that. I was a little late on that. So the 3 jumps is just something that I right, because you see how difficult this combo is to do. So the 3 jumps was a way for me to help time catching the ender. It's like you do 3 jumps. Well, I should say first, right? First up, you do the forward back medium punch. And then I do back forward medium punch because it puts you in the perfect location of where you need to be. Okay? So you do that. Yeah. Do the ultra. Forward back medium. Back forward medium. then 3 jumps, and right, it's just a slight pause before you do it, but at least it's better than just standing there and be like, now, which is normally honestly how I do that. But there's something interesting. We all know that idle goes up higher and falls slower, right? Either way, it takes them longer to hit the ground. But I didn't know Sabrewulf actually takes longer too, and I think that's why sometimes you can catch that Ultra on a flat surface, is because he falls at a slightly different speed. So if I were to show you, and I can do that, I'll put a video together doing the Ultra on all characters except Idle and Sabrewulf, and they'll all hit the ground at the same time, and then Idle and Sabrewulf actually hit at the same time, which blows my mind. But essentially it works out to where you do 4 jumps instead of 3, and it's pretty close. It's not like the second you touch the ground, but it's real close. So yeah, if you try this on Sabrewulf or Idle, just do that. Now Idle, you'll be able to get more juggles afterwards too. Like most of the time, when you want these big ultras, Idle's the person you'll play against because he takes longer to hit the ground, and you can catch more stuff. So yeah, this crazy, man. So yeah, it turns out that the thing that was very tough to do, and oh man, I missed it. In some cases, it's literally not possible because there aren't subframes for you to land this thing. We have to wait a full frame. You know, it's like one was too early, one was too late. So with all that, so that's kind of why you're gonna want to be on one of these stages, right? You're gonna want to be on one of these stages in order to pull this off. And I might attempt it a few times. We'll see if I can catch it again. And but yeah, that's what you're gonna have to do. Combo reset, 2 manuals, a glitched juggle, like ender juggle. Catch a 1 frame 60th of a second ultra catch, but it has to be on one of these stages, or maybe there's a fluke, right? Because I did see Sabrewulf slightly different. I did the exact same combo and he didn't fall the same, so there's probably some instances, and I don't know what they are yet. Like, is it my timing, right? If I do the autos later, like what is it that's causing that? I'm not sure. If I figure that out, I'll add that detail in the description or make a new video. But yeah, you're gonna have to combo reset, 2 manuals, glitch ender, 1 frame catch on an ultra, then catch another glitched ender, and then hope you remembered to do a combo breaker before it all so that you can catch your last 3 hits at the end. So good luck.
To the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? Come on and sit down, because today we're talking about World of Warcraft. Play the montage.
Okay, my mom just canceled my brother's World of Warcraft account.
The intoxicating game called World of Warcraft.
And he's freaking out.
They don't realize how addictive it can be.
Isn't Falstad dead?
International addiction to an internet game.
You don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
I now pronounce me and Warcraft together from now until the end of time.
Today we're talking about World of Warcraft. It's got to be the most well-known MMORPG. Which, if you don't know what MMORPG is, you definitely don't get buzzy. Or you're probably young. I wonder what the median age is for MMORPG enjoyers. I feel like that's like an older generation thing. I feel like it's more of like 30 and up.
Everyone trying to relive the glory days.
Yeah, the glory days of the Burning Crusade and the Wrath of the Lich King and all that jazz. People who are like vanilla, I'm like, okay, dude. All right, I want to look. Can we go back to when there was like nothing in the game, please? Everyone's heard of WoW is the moral of the story. Somehow, some way, you've come across it in some kinds of different media, right? Maybe your friend had it. Maybe you saw it in the South Park episode. I don't know. You've definitely heard of World of Warcraft. It's been around for more than 20 years, and it's one of the most popular MMOs ever created. What the what else is there? Guild Wars?
Guild Wars 2! The One Piece MMO that's coming out.
Is there really an MMO One Piece game?
I hope.
There should be, with how vast the world is. My experience with World of Warcraft was I didn't have internet growing up, so I would go over to my friend's house. I had a really shitty Toshiba laptop that still had the CD-ROM, mind you. At that time, it was like right towards the end of Burning Crusade, and I remember all my friends were playing it, and I was like, I don't think I can afford World of Warcraft. Like $15 a month. I went to Walmart and I got like a battle chest thing that I think had the original and Burning Crusade in it or something. Super stoked, and then immediately I was pissed because like immediately Wrath of the Lich King came out after that, and I was thinking, like, I don't got any money for this. But it was mostly just going over to my friend's house either after school or on weekends. You would just stay up all night. I didn't really like the game. I liked like leveling up with my friends and like getting swords. Every time I'd go over, I'd just start a new character, and we would just like, my friend would take Adderall and we would just order pizzas and it'd make another level 60 character or whatever that night. I always liked instances or those dungeons. No, I don't think I ever did a raid, like going, especially in Burning Crusade. They had a lot of cool like weird demon instances. There was one where it ends with like a dragon fight, and then the enemy has like a cool sword, like Hell Cleaver. And I remember I got that. I think whenever you have it, you spin and you attack with it or something.
Is it a pole arm?
It was like a two-handed sword. I can't remember. It was big. I remember when I was a kid though. I was like, this is sick. I used to draw it and stuff when I was younger. I was like, this is awesome. Me and my digital sword. Pretty sure I swear to God, I drew like Naruto. Or no, I drew Gaara.
With a sword?
From Naruto with that sword. And you control sand, and he has a badass sword. But with all that being said, it's crazy to see millions of diehard fans who dedicate their lives to this game still to this day, and not just streamers. Get them out. What are you doing, bro? There's like very rabid fans. People full 9-to-5 jobs come home and they get in with their clans or whatever, and they do raids or anything else. It always perplexed me. Even whenever like it was the heyday of like Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, which I'm pretty sure that was the most popular time. Even then, I was like, I just play Dead Rising. You know, like, can we fucking do anything else besides this?
You gotta do your daily quests.
Maybe the thing is, I never got to experience it with like people and be like have that kind of relationship with the game, but it was always fascinating and still fascinates me to this day. Like when I go into a stream and I see people, like there's streamers who get 20,000 plus viewers, just watching a guy sit there and like, it's just like, you look at the screen, tons of green. I'm trying to see if I can barter boots with this guy, but he's just not. It's like, what the, like, what? But people, they love it. They love it. They love it. And I think it's time to take a look into World of Warcraft to see what makes the game so important to people. Why is the game so important? Something that brought this idea back to life to me recently was there's some World of Warcraft drama going on. We don't have a lot to talk about. All right. It has to do with OnlyFans, which is a World of Warcraft classic guild that blew up within the streaming community. It was made by one of WoW's biggest streamers, Sodapoppin, and is a roleplay server with 100 other popular streamers in a race to defeat Ragnaros in the 40-man Molten Core raid. And you have awesome creators in it, like Mizkif, XQC, and Tyler One, who I am dubbing the world's greatest gamer.
I like that.
What can't the man do?
Nothing.
at least in the confines of video games. How the f you be like master in League and then you end up like ranking like a high rank in chess?
I think it was Grandmaster in chess.
He's a grandmaster in chess, like fucking Magnus Carlsen. Do you know what pisses me off more than anything? Can I say something? And you know what? Anybody can take this and they can run with it. I don't give a f. I'm putting my opinion out there. Nothing infuriates me more than seeing when I'm on my phone doom scrolling and I get a fucking clip. Magnus showing up late for a tournament. It's him doing.
There he is. The world champion has arrived. He's running to his chair, and at least he has pants on.
He sits down. Shakes the guy's hand. And he like readjusts all of his pieces. It's like, dude, we fucking get it. You're good at chess. Just show up on time and get the job done. Because then the dickhead sitting there like some fucking Polish guy sitting there and he's just like... The only thing's guild takes place in a hardcore server, meaning a death in the game resulted in a complete character restart. The absolute tragedy. My word. While this race factor amped up the entertainment value, it was also the cause of intense internet drama. And people love drama. The streamer Pirate Software was kicked from a guild after a controversial play that infuriated the entire internet. During a dire mall run, his streamer and his 5 level 60 friends tried to retreat during a dangerous encounter. 2 members ended up dying, and the others were quick to blame Pirate Software for not using his abilities to slow the enemies. Instead, he buffed himself and ran away as fast as possible, claiming he had no mana left to help them out.
I can help bot. Yep.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why am I walking? Look at my mana.
Savage, but come on, man.
Damn. So are we in the hardcore server or not? There's a bunch of fucking pig-faced dudes that can't get out in time. I say, guess what? Restart your character. Go on eBay and buy a character.
Elon Musk.
I think he pays like Taiwanese kids to level up his Diablo 4 account. I don't know. I am totally number 4 in the entire world. That's how Elon sounds on. I can't believe that. I'm number 4 in the entire world. But this sparked a heated debate, many arguing that Pirate Software clearly left them for dead when he could have helped. What the fuck is going on? And of course, Pirate Software doubled down, saying there was nothing he could have done.
He just wants me to sit down, grovel on my knees, and be like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Yamato. It was all my fault, the mage. I won't do it again. I'm so sorry that tank overpulled 2 packs and a boss. Oh man, oh god. Next time I'll save you from the big mean 2 packs and a boss that tank pulled. Are you kidding me, dude?
But the backlash was so intense that he was eventually kicked from the guild entirely.
Pirate got kicked? Oh my god!
Good luck sleeping at night, buddy. In a statement on Twitter, Pirate reveals that he had received thousands of death threats on top of being doxxed all over the internet, including in-game, all for a stupid mistake made in a WoW server. There's almost nothing a person could do to be doxxed online, and death threats. Seeing all this crazy shit happen is kind of what sparked me to want to do this video. I'll be honest, I don't really give a fuck about the drama. I don't care. I really don't care about the video game itself. I'm more interested in people's fascination with the video game. It's not about that. If you came here for that, it's not about that. That's the last put the bow on that. It's done. Bye-bye. But it's insane to think that a few people dying in a video game could push a group of people to threaten someone's life, which feels stupid to say because at the same time, as I say that out loud, it's happened many times before, and probably even with this game. Sure, you can have a caveat, right? It's a hardcore server. These people's lost over 100 hours of their lives leveling up these characters. So no wonder people feel so passionate about the betrayal, right? And also you're on a streaming thing and people are tied up with emotional response to their favorite creators and all that kind of stuff. I get it entirely, but still, it's expensive. We're in Silly Town. Put on your silly hat, we're in Silly Town.
All I know is that if my Minecraft server got deleted because of a streamer, I would dox. Send death threats.
I was on a hardcore server, and so I didn't use their magical abilities to slow down the enemy so I could get away and they could help, and I got killed and I had to reset my character on this hardcore server. I would either, one, I would kill myself, or I would dox and I would strangle to death the person that was responsible. Those are the 2 only options. I'd either put a gun in my mouth and blow up my fucking brains, or I would dox the person that did that and I would strangle them with my bare fist. And it led me to think this. If there's people that are taking it this seriously, this event this seriously with World of Warcraft, there's got to be something I'm missing with the hype of this game, with the lore, with everything. There's got to be something I'm missing, and I want to find out what it is. Which leads us into the history of World of Warcraft. I don't know, have me shoot like a spell. like a World of Warcraft spell. I want to be like a what's the big bowl race?
A Tauren.
Yeah, I'm a Tauren.
Getting milked.
I'm getting milked. I'm also one of those aliens.
Draenei.
You know, it's my least favorite World of Warcraft race. If I could be racist in World of Warcraft.
Gnomes.
How'd you know?
Because they're ugly.
They are kind of ugly, aren't they? So fucking tiny. I also hate seeing them run around the map all tiny and shit. Get the fuck out of here, freak.
You make a twink, and then the gay community stole that term.
The gay community is taking so many terms. I can't say bear anymore without somebody bringing up gay sex.
This video is sponsored by Magic Spoon. Reinventing your childhood one bite at a time. Magic Spoon is a perfect fit for a variety of diets because it is high protein and has no sugar. And while you're feeling good about what you're eating, Magic Spoon also has the flavors you loved growing up. Fruity, cocoa, peanut butter. You know, the trifecta. All of these flavors are loaded with 13 to 14 grams of protein and are completely gluten-free. Magic Spoon also has treats. These protein bars are crispy, crunchy, and completely guilt-free. They are a perfect snack to have in the morning or after a workout. Featuring the flavors of marshmallow, chocolatey peanut butter, double chocolate, and blueberry muffin. Each bar has 12 grams of protein, only 1 gram of sugar, and 2 grams of carbs. Plus, Magic Spoon just added their brand new granola. Try honey almond or peanut butter for breakfast and get 13 grams of protein. So why don't you treat yourself? Use my code PAPAMEAT or click the link in the description to try Magic Spoon treats or granola today and get $5 off. You can also find Magic Spoon products on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee online. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund you the money. No questions asked. So click the link in the description to go to magicspoon.com/papameat or scan the QR code on the screen for $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this video, and back to the video. Anyways, the history of World of Warcraft. I figured to understand what this game means to everyone, we should look into the history of its creation and its success, just to get an idea. Maybe you aren't familiar, or maybe you just want to stroll down memory lane, which I like to do from time to time. World of Warcraft was released by Blizzard Entertainment in 2004. That company had some fun stuff happen recently too, right? What was that in the media? I'm sure we'll figure out later.
Overwatch 2.
Oh, it was Overwatch 2, that's what it was. It was a high fantasy game that was made to be much more streamlined and intuitive compared to the other popular MMOs at the time, like EverQuest. Let's just show some footage of EverQuest. Not bad. It was such a huge success that the developers didn't even have the hardware to handle the large influx of players. People were fucking smoking this thing like crack, dude. They were injecting it in their veins like heroin. They couldn't get enough. People were addicted, ladies and gentlemen. People were addicted to WoW. Players were grinding through the game nonstop, with many recounting flunking out of their college classes because of it. And the game has constantly evolved throughout its lifespan and has a total of 10 expansions so far. 10. It's fucking crazy.
They already announced the next 2 expansions.
What were they? Mists of Pandaria 2? Mists of Pandaria 3?
So after the BlizzCon, we will be going back to Pandaria twice.
Here to do the announcement is Jack Black. She-bow! She-bow!
That'd be sick.
Yeah. Once the content dries up, every 2 years, Blizzard adds new locations, items, playable races, and story elements and raids to spice up the game. They do that every 2 years. Pretty crazy, and they still are keeping people in the seats. Despite people's obsession with the game, World of Warcraft had a long history of releasing expansions to poor reception. Often people aggressively critique Blizzard for bad expansions, only to praise them by the time the next one is released. You come out and people are like, this sucks, fuck this. And by the time the new one comes out, they're like, you can't change it, it's perfect. Which I feel like is probably true with everything. But the cycle usually goes as this. Everyone gets excited about a new expansion. Mists of Pandaria, pandas. It's fun. Expansion drops. You can play a panda and like as a monk or some shit. Everyone complains about the new expansion. The pandas weren't as pog as we expected. People say the last expansion was better, and you circle back to new expansion gets announced. Rinse and repeat, baby, all day, every day. We're gamers.
Bet you there are players right now saying, I miss Mr. Pandaria.
Lord, I wouldn't go back to Mr. Pandaria. Please let me go back, please. Keep doing all these vanilla re-releases, dude. Give me back the pandas. And with all these expansions ruining the game, players began to get nostalgic for the good old days. Amidst the socializing and exploration that came with the World of Warcraft when it was originally released, right? Back then it was magical. Now it's all fucking corporate, man. Players felt the game had lost the magic, which pushed people to develop and run an unofficial private vanilla servers of the game. As Blizzard refused to accommodate the players yearning for the original World of Warcraft experience, people wanted to go back to the original days, and Blizzard was like, I'm not fucking doing that. So people took it upon themselves to do it.
At BlizzCon, they're like, no one really wants that.
Have you ever thought about adding servers for previous expansions as they were then?
No. And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
Anything Blizzard does in a like convention style thing is usually there's always something funny. I always like the Diablo mobile announcement. That was like one of my favorite. Is this a out of season April Fool's joke? And I love the response to that is, what, do you guys not have phones?
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out of season April Fool's joke?
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Which one of the most popular of these vanilla servers was Nostalrius, which reached over 800,000 accounts at its peak. Almost 1 million fucking people were in this original vanilla server. And to the surprise of many, Blizzard issued a cease and desist to those keeping the vanilla servers running, forcing it to shut down on April 10th, 2016, which was about a year after its launch. People are just having fun playing the game you make, and then Wizards comes in, they're just like, hey, sir, come here real quick. Shut this thing down right now. Seriously. Hundreds of thousands of signatures were made on a petition to keep it running, but to no avail. Petitions don't, can we just say that right now? Petitions don't fucking work.
What? Change.org doesn't work?
Yeah, are you saying change.org does nothing at all? People mourn the closure of the server, hoarding together for its final moments, and it's actually pretty crazy seeing everything in there. Too many names, dude. I have like a panic attack.
The FPS must have been like 2.
My Toshiba laptop could not handle this right here, okay? And it was only a year later at BlizzCon 2017, Blizzard's annual convention, when it was announced that Blizzard was actively working on World of Warcraft Classic, a standalone version of the game that brings players back to the vanilla version of the game.
I am pleased and also a little bit nervous to announce the development of a classic server option for World of Warcraft.
This was an immensely profitable decision, one that brought in millions of dollars and proved to be a success even today.
More people, I think, play classic servers than retail.
More people probably play the classic version than the retail version. Or did they realize that you could be a panda? Do they realize you can be a panda and go experience Kung Fu Panda in World of Warcraft? Are they aware? Also, I want to say this too. Mist of Pandaria probably could have been, it could be, people could love it. I just remember seeing that. I stopped playing it at Cataclysm. I had not played it since then. I just kind of see stuff from here and there. Have not kept up with it. Don't know if it's good. I just remember seeing Mist of Pandaria and being like, that looks really gay. That was the first thing I said. I was being offensive. I said, okay, that looks gay. It was fucking, I think it came out at the same time like a Kung Fu Panda movie came out. I thought it was a sponsored meme or something like that. I don't know. Sue me. There's not always rainbows in World of Warcraft, right? I mean, we could talk about some of the horror stories in this community. Also, I like how we listed one thing. Did you feel like that was a comprehensive history? I hope so. Did we talk about Leroy Jenkins in this?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
We didn't even talk about, in the history of World of Warcraft, we never even brought up Leroy Jenkins.
So let's... Leroy Jenkins!
Well, if you want more of that, I'm sure there's channels out there that'll give it to you. Because we just want to get into the dark side of World of Warcraft, apparently, because we're little fucking heathen goblins. On r/WoW, which stands for World of Warcraft, the post says, what's your biggest guild scandal story you know of or have been involved in? And someone said, so many. The first one here says, guild member, instead of just going, hey, this isn't really working out for me anymore, put thanks for having me for 2+ years, guild quitting. He faked their own death, and then 3 months later logged in to G-quit all their tunes and realm transfer. I read that as if, like, I thought I was like reading Latin after a while. What the f does G quit all their tunes mean?
Tunes are characters, so he probably had multiple characters in the guild, and so he logged in real quickly, G quit, so guild quit, and then realm transferred them off completely.
Why does that? Why did he just do that to begin with?
It was probably didn't want to hurt their feelings.
Oh, he did. So he did it because he's like, oh, if they do that, they're gonna think I don't like them anymore.
Yeah, he probably also stole a bunch of shit in the guild too.
We might not have the full story here. Okay, I never was in a guild. I just play with my friends online. I didn't know the guilds were such a big deal.
I play by myself and just raid.
You just raid by yourself?
And then I was a 14, so I never talk and vent. So I just type everything because I was scared.
You were afraid to speak on. I guess I could see that too. I never had a game mic. I feel like I'd just be in the room with them and you talk that. You know what I mean?
I used to be a clicker. That's a sin, a cardinal sin in WoW. You're never supposed to click. But I was a hunter, so I just had to do a rotation.
I don't know what the you're saying. Like, I don't know what clicker means.
Clicking is where you have your abilities on the bar, is where you take your mouse and go over and click the...
Oh.
Instead of clicking 1, 2, 3, or A, B, or whatever.
Yeah. I do that still to level up in League, and people freak out about that. I'm not keyboard savvy, so I'm always like, eh. And I can't multitask it. I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot. Another one says, a guild run by a wife and husband. Wife drove 2 hours to have an affair with another raider in the guild. Husband found out, lost his shit, drove 2 hours to try and fight the guy, but got arrested during the confrontation. If you're wondering, neither the marriage nor the guild survived.
We had that too. We had a guild that also had like a husband and wife couple, and it really affected the rating when the wife was pregnant and had to go into labor. She was our healer.
Well, it's gonna happen. You know, it's like, are we raiding or are we having a kid? Like, can we choose? What are we doing here? The amount of crazy interactions guilds probably have isn't like the stories. To be like a fly on the wall in some like crazy, it's a WoW tavern and hear some of that stuff. Another post says, old raid leader played clear favorites with a new tank, cheated on his wife with the new tank, and then left his wife for the new tank. Then he went on Jeopardy and lost because he's a fucking loser. The idea of an affair happening in World of Warcraft is absurd. You played really well today. You know, if you want these boots, you can have them. It's absurd. It has to be the least sexy environment ever, right?
Well, when your mind sees those pixels on screen, your brain starts...
How much of that do you think, too, is like them being enthralled with like the fantasy of the game, but they look at the game as an escape, and then there's someone in the game that they like or do it, like, there's no lines of reality anymore.
Also, well, I mean, if you're an adult, it makes sense. I remember I was like 8 or 10. I played this game called Habbo Hotel. Anyways, there was a character that was a girl character, and I fell in love. I didn't even know if they were a real woman.
It can happen. I will say this. I have a buddy named Aaron. They've been married. They've been together forever. They've been married and have 2 wonderful kids now. So love can happen anywhere, which I guess if you're just casually conversating with somebody, anything can lead to whatever. But if you're already married and then like an affair starts, it's so much different than people finding love. We talked about the community a little bit and some of the horrifying stuff that happens in guilds. But let's talk about some of the horrifying stories that happen in World of Warcraft. In 2006, a guild officer named Fayin died from a stroke. And out of respect for their fallen guild member, his guildmates and friends decided to hold a funeral in Winter Spring to say their goodbyes. As wholesome as this may seem, things took a dark turn when they decided to open the invitation to Alliance factions as well. The Guild Serenity now caught wind of this and decided to enact a brutal raid on the funeral, leading to a massacre of attendees who were simply there to mourn their dead friend. So this is in the game.
It's the Red Wedding.
It's the Red Wedding of World of Warcraft. This frame rate.
It was a tragic day. We were mourning.
I like that. I think someone's stepping at their desk by their keyboard and they're like, no! No! It is f***ed up that the guy died in real life and it was like them getting together from all these people from probably different parts